To Moonlight Madness, and today I'm doing a reading for air sign. It just came out for me very strong for the sun, moon and rising. We've got Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, and that's the Very Tarot deck, which I've had for over 7 years maybe. I got it in 2015. And then I've got The Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reid, which is a very cool map. It reminds me of something my kids used to do in the school holidays. So the first card I pulled is the Unity card. I would call this the Hierophant card. It's just called a different name in this deck. And it talks about being around and doing the right thing for the right reason, comparing a traditional way of looking at things as well as a new age way of looking at things. I've recently had issues with blood pressure, and I've realised it's natural therapies and also medication, and looking at it from another perspective, which is why you've got the Pisces card at the top of the crown, looking at things upside down from a different perspective, like Odin did when he went and discovered how to make the runes. So Unity talks about other times where you've got to break out of the box and consider a new and various creative modes on how to accomplish your goal. Discussing various methods, old and new, with those you trust who can help you with philosophy to follow at any given time. If your goals are meeting them with resistance, it may be due to the method you are using, rather than a flaw in your actual plans. Be open to trusted people's perceptions, and having a support group of friends that are spiritual in nature, who walks their walk or talks their talk, will uplift you and you stand tall in your work. It's important to always stay on a path of integrity in every aspect of life. The law of attraction rewards those who follow their dreams while remaining honest and true in dealing with others. Align yourself with organisations or people who have high spiritual ideals. In this card, we have two fairy students have found a mentor to teach them both old and new ways of thinking. And old values can sometimes win out. There's an old saying about when you've got a problem with gums or gum disease or gingivitis that can elevate blood pressure, and it can cause all sorts of havoc. I had that like twice in 3 years now. So if you've got an infection in the gum, it will raise the blood pressure. And so how you tackle that is you get rid of the inflammation. So you take an anti-inflammatory alongside possibly a heart med, and in conjunction with natural therapies like lemon and ginger tea, which helps to flush out the inflammation in the gum. Or they say coconut oil. You swill coconut oil at night time, and also it's like getting rid of gum infections as well. So a lot of it can come down to how you look at it. Look at it from a big perspective rather than just a one perspective. The blood pressure's high, but it could be other components that is pushing it up, not necessarily what you're eating or drinking, which I've discovered. You cut out a few things like caffeine. You cut down on whatever you do in the pastime, whether it be smoking, drinking, or any other type of toxin in your body. If you can cut down on that and water it down, then you're also watering down the inflammation, and not eat foods that are inflammatory. So that's a little lesson I've discovered on my own. What you've got here crossing your path is, of course, the Prince of Swords. Now, he's very intellectual, he's very determined, he's very focused, he's very impulsive, but he can seek out an intellectual solution to the problem. The need to act quickly and decisively, sudden or unexpected changes. He's in a hurry to get somewhere. And so Prince of Swords will look at a situation, execute the problem, and take action, whether you like him to or not. He's very got a very brilliant mind that's constantly ticking. And if you think he's not thinking while he's talking to you, he's actually coming up with a solution for you. Fighting for justice, sudden or unexpected changes, and it talks about he shows up that you're in for some very quick action. His mind moves as fast as his sled, and he can instantly assess a situation and follow it through. When he's on a mission, you may as well stand back. They're very idealistic, focused and determined. Can be a little bit impulsive, can be a bit cutthroat, can be very cold at times in how they deliver their message, but know it's coming from a place of concern, not one of being antagonistic. He will pause for a moment of reflection. The fairy moves swiftly through the snow. He loves the thrill. He could be a thrill seeker. He could like going to do daredevil sports or extreme motocross person. He might be into motocross racing. This is for some, like in particular people. I'm picking up that he could also do certain risky behaviours in life, and He doesn't think about the consequences. He just thinks about the fun he has at the time, and then he regrets his decision later. So sometimes he skates on thin ice with people and situations because he likes to push the limits. He's like no limits. He's like the Fool card. He's younger than you. This person, his Prince of Winter. He could be a Sagittarius. He's like a Sagittarian. He's an Aquarian, Gemini, or Libra. Aquarian is the grandfather of the air signs. Gemini is the baby. So you may have the Gemini rising or an Aquarian rising. And Libra is the middle teenager. So whoever fits that bill will come up. And I'm thinking it's an Aquarian because we've got the 5 of Wands, which is competition. And to me, that is like battling all the time, like mental gymnastics. He may like to spar. He may like to, it's like playing a chess game with you mentally. He does mental gymnastics with you every time you have a conversation. So you better be on your toes and know what you're talking about and come up with facts and figures, because he's going to test your knowledge. He's going to test society's knowledge as well. And he will argue the point. He could be very debatable. We've got him on the path of the Prince of Spring. This is a card of the Sagittarian, Leo, or Aries person in your life who's charming, self-confident, passionate, restless. They could just be in a hurry to get somewhere. They just like to be on the move. They like to travel. They could find wide open spaces, helps them intellectually think things through. They may be the star of the show. They could be an actor or an actress, or on a stage work where they sing or dance. These people like to be the center of attention. So if you try and take that attention away from them, expect to be put out. This prince will be very put out if you try to upstage them, or take away their spotlight from the world. They like to be on show. They're constantly holding court, if you will. I've got a Leo grandfather, and he reminds me of the king, and Winnet is like the queen, and it's like they hold court. When you visit them, you best pay attention to them, because they expect you to either bow down or just, how do you say, give them license to be on stage. They want your full attention, and that's what I get. And in the past, you've had the 8 of Cups. This could be you leaving something that you thought you really wanted and realised it wasn't right for you. You've got 7 cups left. 7 cups have overturned, and you've left 1 behind. That's the cup for on your return. You might have been the prodigal son or prodigal daughter that left her the safety net of the Shire, like in The Hobbit, how they all go out, the 3 of them, and they want to go on a big adventure. And this talks about the war. That's J.R. Tolkien's book. Is actually relating to when the boys all left home to go and fight the war that really wasn't their war in World War II. And the way he did it was in a fantasy way, but it was so accurate. The comfort and the nurturing of your home where you live, where you grew up, is always, you think fondly of it, have fond memories, because it's where you want to go back to when things fall apart, when life throws you a curveball. You want to go somewhere where you're familiar, where you feel at ease, where you know the maps, you know the streets, you know old stomping grounds, and you might have old friends from school that you returned to. You went away and you came back, and you notice that things have changed. And we've been through our own war, our own pandemic recently, and everyone got stuck overseas. It was just like a segregation of the world and families, and missed out on birthdays and 21st and anniversaries, and we're all starting to try and catch all that up. That lost time we can't catch up though, and that's the sad part. We've lost time, and time is precious, very, very precious thing. And I think people have to get from this pandemic is that spending time with family and friends, and sometimes you might not get along or see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, it's who you rely on when things go pear-shaped. Then you've got here the awakening. So this is like upside down Pisces energy. Now, the Pisces energy is, we're in Pisces season right now. So if you're having a birthday, happy birthday to you. They are the end of the zodiac. It is like going through a death knell, or a death of a way of life. The yin and yang symbol symbolises both male and female energy. And a lot of Pisces do have that feminine quality. They are the softer, gentler. They live in the dream world. They live in fantasy. They're water. They're still water. They're undercurrent. They swim in dreams, and they are usually in the background. They could be the production assistant. They could be the movie producer. They could be the people that work behind the scenes rather than wanting to be in the spotlight. They would like to operate from a place of love and operate from a place of trying to care for the world. They could be very much humanitarians. So you may be an Aquarian or a Libra Gemini with a moon in Pisces. I know I've got a moon in Pisces. It's a hidden action behind an apparent standstill. And we've just been through that standstill with the pandemic. It's time to change your perspective. This card reminds you to just how wonderful and magical you are. When others value qualities within you that you may have labelled weird, or you were told you were kooky or unusual, you can come to see the incredible strength and potential that lies in being your unique self. It is a card of clarity and kindness, and the fairies are willing to reach out and help you on your path, but you are being asked to do the same for those who may be in need. It's beautiful to extend aid and compassion to others. Remember, though, to keep a balance so that you don't fall into an unhealthy pattern of overgiving. And I'm guilty as charged. I tend to overgive, only because I want to see people happy. It makes me happy to see people happy, whether it be friends or family. I love to give gifts and watch their face light up. That's just me. That's the sort of person I am. But I don't like accepting gifts. It's funny. I feel funny if people give me too much. I don't feel I deserve it. The wheel. This is luck and fortune. In one calendar year, you will be in such a different space for the air signs. You may decide to go and get a new car. You may decide to drive a car as a job, be a driver. You could be the driving force in life. Delays are over now, and suddenly unexpected good luck. Or travel. You might decide to go overseas to a country that is a bit different, like far up in the like Germany, or somewhere where the fairy tales are from, like Denmark, which is Hans Christian Andersen wrote lots of fairy tales, and that was the era that was the time frame that he grew from. It was from Denmark, and that's where Princess Mary moved to and became the queen, or is becoming the queen of Denmark, and she fits into the fairy tale. It was a fairy tale way to meet. They met in a pub in Sydney. It was called the Slip-In. I remember the pub. I used to live in Sydney, and we couldn't believe it that this girl, that was just a girl from a real estate agent, became the love of Prince Frederick's life. And they got married, and it was just a fairy tale. It was just like something you dream about, something that is in fairy books. We would never have thought he would have picked a commoner, but she was a commoner, and she was very, very proud to learn his language, and got invited to Denmark and met the Queen. They got engaged, and it was just a storybook romance. It was really, really lovely to watch that wedding. It was one of my favourite weddings was that wedding. And the dress was beautiful. The card heralds happy fortune smiling upon you. Get a lotto ticket. Remember that the fairies have gotten things started. You have to keep the momentum going. They're spinning the wheel, creating beautiful strands of gold. And Rapunzel was, I think it was the hair, she grew it very long. And Rumpelstiltskin, they spun hair into gold. So maybe you've got a head of golden hair, or your hair's really long, and it's saying it's going to keep growing because you're getting healthier. This is what I pick up. You're figuring out ways to get healthy, and your hair will grow, your nails will grow, the stress is gone. You're learning to shut out the noise, and that's an important step. When you're a reader, it's really hard to shut out noise from around, even in a building. I find I pick up on everyone's energy in this building, and usually I'm tired from it. I'm drained. I don't mean to take on their energy, but I pick it up because I'm touching things all the time. I'm touching the door, touching the washing machine if I use it, which is very rare because I don't want the energy. I don't want to see things for people all the time, but I can't shut it off. And I've gone to lots of places for help, and no one seems to be able to help me. So I'm going to go to a spiritual church and talk to someone there. I think I just need to turn the volume down. So there's your downloads. There it is, Ace of Swords. This is the girl downloading from the crystal. And the crystal is a quartz crystal. And what's meant to do is you're meant to breathe in, which I'll get the stone, breathe in with this quartz crystal, and breathe out with the black obsidian. I think 6 breaths. And that's really important because the downloads here are saying when you're asleep, you're going to get amazing ideas. You'll get astral. There's the crystal from a Rainbow Runner in Hamilton. Beaumont Street. Adrian's really cool. I bought a present for my son's girlfriend yesterday for her 21st, and I got Lapis because Lapis is for intuition, and she's very intuitive because she's a Pisces. So I wanted to expand her intuition and to also help her speak up for herself. The throat chakra. Pisces is very, they go with the flow. They're very fluid, but you need to tell them sometimes to speak up how they feel, or they get their feelings trampled on. They're very emotional, like a Cancer. So breathe in with the quartz, breathe out with the black obsidian. And so it's talking about these downloads. And sometimes these Aquarian people or air signs tend to deliver harsh messages that come with knowledge and directness and to the point. And it's like, if you don't come to me correctly, then don't come to me at all, because they want you to speak your truth, but don't do it in a way that's harsh. Don't shoot the messenger. Just deliver it in a, how did she say? To the point. Just, be very pragmatic and deliver the message that is meant to be delivered, but not harshly. So don't freeze these people out. They need their warmth. Sometimes air signs can be a little bit too quick to cut people off and not at all warm. But it's not that they don't want to feel anything, they're just detached. Air signs are very detached. It's very hard to get emotionally close to an air sign. I find there's always a wall. There's always you're going through a fence, you're going through a security building. You've got several firewalls before you even, someone does computers in this building. Several firewalls will go in front of you before you can get access to whatever you're trying to get access to, because they're trying to set booby traps. Then you've got the Queen of Autumn. Now this is for a Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo around you who is a friend. They're generous, they're stylish, they're gracious, they're practical, and they respect to how you proceed, the ability to make anything more beautiful. They may love interior designing. They may love doing gardening and doing projects and things that have form and function. That's what my mother always says, form and function. So my mother's really got a really good eye for colour. She can do a feature wall, and I would never have thought to put one where she did it, but it was the most beautiful burgundy, and the walls were pink, well, light pinkish or apricotish, and it just went so well. And I would never have put that colour there. I think it was too dramatic, but it suits her house. She's got a house that's got very open plan. It's a gun barrel style house, and it opens up to the backyard, which is her happy space. So she's now doing a project with mesh and little flowers, and she's putting butterflies around and doing her little out garden and thing. And she's got a really keen eye for detail. If I want an honest assessment of how I look, she'll tell me. If I don't want it, she'll still tell me. But at least I know if she thinks I'm put weight on or something, or I don't look well, she'll tell me, that colour washes you out. That's the wrong colour. Why don't you wear something brighter? So she's got a very good eye for colour. When it's talking about that, you may be decorating your home, or you've got someone around helping you decorate your home by suggesting certain things, rugs and accessories and things like that for homewares. You may decide to go into homewares, but they love fine food, they love music, they love velour, velvet, satin, things like that. They're very much into things that are beautiful fabrics they're attracted to. They love rings and jewellery. A lot of tourist people love sparkly things. They love to have jewellery, and that's their thing. They're like a magpie. They see a shiny object, they want it. So then you've got the Three of Pentacles. This is creating something. You may be creating something from home, whether it be drawing, whether it be jewellery. You might decide to go and do jewellery as a hobby. It's something that you're doing from home. And it's creative, or you're painting, or you're cooking, you're doing something creative, and creative things need to take time. You can't rush them. I think you have to just do it at your pace, not at someone else's pace. I love to draw, and I've stopped recently, but I want to get back into it. So I've been going through my art books and looking at my pencils, and when I saw my grandfather, who taught me to draw the other day, he's taught me since I was little. I've had a love of drawing, and I want to draw him something when I see him next to cheer him up. So he's got something in the home that he can look at and say, well, that's my granddaughter's drawing. It's just sort of something we've got in common, I guess. He's a very colourful man as well. He loves music. He loves to sing, and I'm hoping he'll do some playing guitar in there. or an accordion or something where he's using his musical skills, natural abilities he has. And then you've got here the Five of Wands. This is fighting. This is like competition. It's the Aquarian card of healthy competition. You may have healthy competition in doing something that you do from home, whether it be the drawing or the writing music, writing stories, writing a book. You're going to have a lot of competition, even if it's creating social media, like you do, like this media channel. You might have a healthy competition out there who want to do what you do, but you're unique, you're different. And everyone's got a different style and everyone's got a different way. And I've got a couple of readers I go to, Butch Tarot, Saltwater Heals, Mitchell Coombs. I go to him for advice on anything witchy or anything to do with the supernatural, or, you know, because he's also a psychic medium. He sees dead people like me. I go to Ocean Only. I like Ocean Only. And Suda Cups, she's really good. Secret Tarot is really good. I just find whatever resonates with you. And Quantum Tarot, I think it's called. She's really good too. I really like her way of doing things. And I go back and forwards and I research. That's what I do. So I can get a different perspective on how they read the cards, and that's what I do. I've got the deck here I'm going to pull. This is for an enchanted map. I'm just going to shuffle really quick. I shuffled them a lot before, so I'll just cut the deck. 2 cards come out. Oh, synchronicity. Law of attraction. You've got here the compass and the wheel. 2 cards that represent a wheel or a period of time. I guess that's what I would call it. And then you've got come together. Oh, that's a nice card. That's one of my favourite cards. So that's the giraffes coming together. You might have two like-minded people that look at life like you do. So you might meet someone who's also a reader, or whatever you do, whatever creative things you do, or a drawer, and you will have that in common. So maybe you need to go frequent places where these people hang out, like an art gallery, or, you know, or if you like to drive, if you like cars. I think there's a car show on this weekend. I think it's on Sunday, and it's at Morpeth. And yeah, there are lots of drivers there, lots of beautiful cars to look at. You might be, as I said, looking for a new car. 50, this is the, let's say the compass is, as long as you orient your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. Some of you may be traveling north. From here, it's Brisbane. You're entering an uncharted territory right now and can expect wonderful new experiences to stay on the highest path for your destiny. You will need to keep your compass pointed to true north. Only spirit or a higher power can serve this function. Money, property, prestige, romance, and other material achievements can't help you find your true path. They're simply things you may experience along the journey. Know that spirit is working in your life, so even if you feel lost temporarily, it'll be easy to find your way. Have faith and trust for your compass with spirit, as true north will ensure that you'll never be lost, even on a starless night. It's like the star in the sky guides you home, even when there's no light. You've lost your light, you've lost your way. If you're feeling lost, trust me, you'll find where you're meant to go, but you may have to go and travel in order to find where you need to go. Because once you travel and you come back, then you have all this experience from another country and mix with other people and possibly discover a language that you pick up. So then you can work anywhere. And so when everything seems dark, always remember there's a bright light guiding you. And whether it be your parents, whether it be God, keep following that positive role model, that positive person who's uplifting for you when everything's gone to crap and you just need someone to direct you. Sometimes God's protection is no direction. They protect you from going in any direction until you are safe. Love needs to be expressed. Drawing that come together card is a sign that you're on the path to discover the nature of this emotion in all its forms of expression: romantic, familiar, unconditional, spiritual. In each instance, there is another being involved. Love involves a give and take between you and a significant other, a relative, a friend, an animal, and or spirit. This card assures you that love has come calling and seeks a partner in its dance. Know that you are cherished like a magnet. You're attracting love into your life. This is a time for harmonious, caring partnerships. So you may meet this Taurus and just get along really well, and they may love art, beauty, and music like you. And that's all I have.